In this video dated May 8th, 2014, we're going to demonstrate the updates to the Smaka website for May. Let's go ahead and log into the demo account. First we're going to do is go over to the appointments page. You're going to see that we've cleaned up the appointments and the time off a little bit here. You now have a day tab, which shows you the day's appointments and anybody who's scheduled off for that day. Go to week. Same thing, you see the week's appointments, or 7 days at a time, as well as the time off for those 7-day period. You can scroll forward 7 days at a time or backwards. A month, you'll see everything from today through the end of the month. And then if you scroll forward, you would see the following months. And here it comes back to, let's go to current. And you can scroll back and forward through the month. You can also print each of these. So if you wanted to print a list of appointments, go here to the PDF document. And there you have your month. Go under all, and you can print off all your appointments. You could also filter these and just print that. You could do a date range. So again, you got your day, your week, your month. The next thing I want to demonstrate is better parts tracking as far as parts purchases. If you go here to an invoice, we'll open it up. We add a part, and we're just going to type in a miscellaneous part. Make up some prices. Save that. Let's do another one just for fun. And we'll save that. Now you can see that these parts are not in stock or in our stocking list because there's an NA and an NA. Now what we do is we add them to a purchase order. Let's just pick this one. It's already there. Okay, they were added to the purchase order. Now in order for the part tracking to work properly, we're going to need to go over to that purchase order, and before we process the invoice, at the end of the day, we need to process this purchase order, or at least those parts. That way these parts will be added into our inventory, and then they can be removed when we process the invoice. And before miscellaneous parts, if they were added to inventory after they were added to an invoice, they weren't tracked by that invoice. Now, however, when you process these items, just make up a invoice number. Click OK. Okay, so those two parts were added to inventory. Let's go back over to that invoice. And you'll see now those parts were added to inventory and they were linked back to the invoice. So let's go ahead and change the status to delivered. We'll update that. Go ahead and close the invoice. Let's go ahead and process. Let's go over to invoice history. Select that invoice. Go down here under purchase history, and you'll see the parts that were purchased, the vendor invoice, all the information. From here we can open up that purchase order, Or we could add it to a return right from here if there was some need for that. So that allows you better tracking of the parts on an invoice. The next thing I want to take a look at is the print options. We've added a few new print options for the estimate and the invoice. We've removed some of the parts and labor detail. We've taken out the part number and we've taken out the labor hours and labor rate. A lot of people don't want their customers going out shopping on the internet for the parts. In case you want to show just a flat amount for the labor, again, that you don't want the customer seeing the hourly rate or the hours. So to use that, you would go here with the no parts and labor detail. This is the original one. Select the format. So that now makes this our estimate. Let's go over here to home for a second. Let's go ahead and print an estimate. You'll see here this estimate doesn't have any parts or labor. Doesn't help us. Let's try this one. And you'll see here, no part number, just the part description, quantity, price, line total. Labor, this doesn't have any labor description, you need to put that in. But it doesn't show hours or rate, just shows the description and the total. Let's go ahead and exit out of there. We'll go back. And so I don't forget, we're going to switch back to the original estimate for the demo account. You have the same thing, the ink saver version. And then let's go back to invoice. You got a few more choices here because we had the compact invoice, the original invoice, the one with ink saver, the one in landscape view. We've got all those again, but with no parts and labor detail, just like before. Let's just go ahead and show the compact version. Back to the home page. Pick that one. Sorry. Back to the home page. Pick that one since it has some parts and labor. Print invoice. And there you'll see again just descriptions, quantities, price, line total. So that's just a few more options there for our layouts of our reports. Go ahead and switch back. The invoice. And that concludes this tutorial on May 8th, 2014.